Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day. I had a good weekend. Um, Today I'm gonna make a roadmap, like a to-do list. What else? I've been working a lot on like the theme of the game, the setting, the story, like the history, like the nations and kingdoms, um, kind of like characters. I haven't done characters yet, but mostly just the setting and the story. Oh, and like the magic system and stuff like that. I've been working on those. I'm growing my like reference library. Um, I'm just going on Google, finding images that align with my vision for the game. So like I have something to look at. Um, but today we're gonna create a roadmap or a to-do list. We're going to add some of the stuff because it's getting more clear, like what I'm supposed to do, what the game is. So I can actually create a to-do list. We're going to add a bunch of stuff to the to-do list, and I'm going to start coding a little bit. Um, then we can go over what I have so far in terms of the setting and the story and stuff, and we can change it. We can improve it a little bit, develop it, and then after that, if there's time, if I get burnt out a little bit, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna stop developing and then play the finals. And I stream every day at 1 p.m. Twitch and YouTube. 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. EST. Um, I have a Discord server that I'm going to link in the chat. So if you like the game, if you like the stream, you can join my Discord server. I'm the most active on Discord. You can just join. You can talk to me. We can chat. I'm going to post when it gets more popular. I'm going to start posting my updates on Discord. So make sure to join the Discord server. I have hot chocolate. I have some snacks here. Usually I like to drink like a cold coffee. But I have a sore throat today and yesterday, so I'm gonna stick to something hot. I don't know where I should create the roadmap. There's I know there's Trello, there's GitHub like project. I guess Trello would be best since it would be public and you guys can go check it out. I don't know of any other like public boards like making an account. What brings you here today? Organize ideas and work. Track personal tasks. I can only pick one. I guess tasks and to-dos, yeah. Continue. Oh no. That's I thought it was gonna jump up and steal my snack. Board name Conjurance. Do. Progress. Finish. I'm like leaning into the microphone. I'm trying to make sure my like voice gets heard because the microphone's weird. All right. What is this? Okay, so we can skip this for now. Not your team. Skip that. Skip premium. Okay. Why did it add these? Okay. All right. So I want to change the color though. Brown colors. I like the blue. Or let's do red. Okay. Conjurance to do. I know in my past streams I worked a lot on the flow field pathfinding, but it's not gonna change by a lot, but the logic of the game changed because there's not gonna be any air units in the game. And that makes it a lot simpler. Oh, and last day I streamed, everything was working until I actually created like the direction each unit has to go, and the direction was wrong. They were like going to the wrong direction. So fix flow field directions. I feel like maybe I should have different lists for different like categories of to do. To do theme. I want to move like here, and I'm gonna call this to do coding in progress finish. What else do I need to code? I need to code like the movements of the units. Unit movement script. Create. Okay, so I used to call them sentinels. I'm considering changing their names to something like forger. Just an idea though. I'm gonna call them sentinels. Create sentinel script. What else? Do another for game design. So there's theme, which is like the story elements. There's game design, which is like the mechanical blueprint of the game, and the coding, which is the actual mechanics coming to life. Do game design. Decide attributes for 12 quadrants. And by attributes, let me pull up Obsidian. I could have also added to Obsidian, but then it wouldn't be public. Designed. Where did I write that? Design guide. No. Theme. No. Characters. Mechanics. Okay, here we go. So these are the attributes of each character. I just listed like a bunch of, I call them attributes, a bunch of like different characteristics that a unit can have. It can like have different health, and the speed can vary, the attack range, attack speed, attack damage, the damage type, the damage radius, it can all vary, and these are all attributes. And then each attribute has two variations. It can be a fighter, or it can be a tank. It can be light or heavy. It can be melee or ranged. It can attack frequent or infrequently. It can deal high damage or low damage. It can be like the damage type can be physical or magical. I might not add this, but something. And then it can be a radius, or it can be a single target attack. And these create a ton of unique units. Like the combination of these create a ton of different units. And what I mean by decide attributes for 12 conjurants is I decided that 12 units or 12 conjurants would be a good point, a good number for a solo developer like me. It would still have some variety, but it wouldn't be like Clash Royale, like 100 cards, 100 units, with unique animations, textures, models, abilities. Like I just can't do that as a solo developer. So I decided 12 is a good number, and deciding on their attributes. So I have all these attributes. I want to decide for those 12 units. I want to create a nice, interesting set of units that have different abilities, that have different uses, and that support each other. So you can like, I don't know, place a melee guy and then place an archer behind that guy, so they can like support each other somehow. That's what I want to do, and that's what I mean by decide attributes. Theme. Right now, there's a bunch of nonsense here. Like I wrote a ton, but I'm gonna change it all probably. I have some names that I might change as well. For the setting, I don't want to just like create, I don't know, there were 3 nations and then they started fighting, and I don't really want to do that. I want to have a backstory. And by a backstory, I mean, I want to have cultures, I want to have languages, religions. I want the magic to tie into the cultures and stuff. I want to have some kind of world built that I can create the story from. And the idea right now is there's this material. For now, I named it. I might change it, but right now it's named Amber. It's a magical material, and people somehow use this material to do various various forms of magic. And that was a long time ago. Right now, most magic has been forgotten. Like it's just not been used. It hasn't been used, and the world has changed, and magic doesn't have the same presence that it had before. But what is left from magic is amber. Amber is still in the world. And even though people don't use it much for like the various kinds of magic, they did figure out how to use it for their advantage in war, to go and kill stuff. So they have these magical people called forgers, which are basically wizards. And I decided that in the world, I don't want to have like sorcerers and stuff. I want magic to be learnable. I want everyone to be able to be capable of learning magic rather than it being something that comes within you. But yeah, forgers, or you can also call these sentinels. I don't know the terminology yet. These people are capable of conjuring these creatures and these people for the battle, for the war. And they use amber to conjure it. The reasoning behind, let me fix this. So I could have just left this out, but the reason I did keep it is I want the world to have magic in it, but I don't want magic to like be in the front. I don't want it to be in the spotlight as much. I want it to be there, but I want the actual action to be actual physical humans and creatures and stuff with muscles and blood and bones. So forgers, they use magic. That's actually like the center, the whole thing, the whole plot of the game. They use magic, but they use magic to create living beings, and those living beings fight. So it's still like it still feels real, but it's also open ended. So like magic still exists in the world. So later on, I can make magical stuff happen. Oh, even here you see like, see this, and then you see this. Like, I changed the lettering. I want to make it like kind of. I don't want it to be too hard to pronounce. I want it to be memorable. So I'm like changing names here and there, and then I don't update the rest. I don't know. It's a work in progress. But yeah, that's the idea for the game. What was I doing? Let's just add a bunch of questions. I mean, not like random questions, but some questions that would shape, that would help shape the world. There's a nation called Venelet. Like, why are they invading? Because I have a basic story. Venelit, they're invading these other countries, and I don't have a reason for them to be invading them yet. But yeah, I think that's a good start. I'm gonna put this in progress, and then bring this over here. And let me also launch Godot. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a lot. A little more. There. Okay. So as you see, first of all, they're all pointing to 0. It looks like they're all trying to go to 0 or 0, 0, 0. Secondly, there's no like the diagonal cost is the same as if you're going upwards or sideways. And I thought, did I not already write code to 14 to like make diagonals more expensive? Oh, okay, diagonal cost, and then wait, what? Okay, so this is how I'm detecting if a neighbor is diagonal or not. And then if it is, and do I have this backwards? Let me try this. So if it isn't diagonal, it's 0. That makes sense. It didn't change anything though. Hey, Gabriel. It has a code name for now. Calling it Conjurance. Like this. Basically, the theme of the game is it's basically Clash Royale. The gameplay is different a little bit. It's more focused on the combat between the units rather than taking the tower. And then you conjure units onto the battlefield, and that's why I called it Conjurance. I just realized you didn't see. I was talking, trying to show this, and it was in my other monitor. But yeah, that's the idea of the game. Thank you. I just realized the faults with this code. My idea was to check if something is diagonal, because all of my tiles are represented on a one-dimensional array, and if I'm trying to check if something, if a neighbor from a tile is diagonal to it or not. And I was doing get the index of the tile -1 minus neighbor index. Hold on, what? Or I'm getting the distance between the index, between the current tile index and the neighbor tile index. And if it's 1, then it's not diagonal because it's like right to the side. But I didn't consider okay, I guess it, hold on, I'm so confused right now. I guess it doesn't matter if, hold on. Bro. If my tile is here, this tile -1 points to this one. And that's not even a neighbor. I thought that was a problem, but it isn't because I successfully get the neighbors and I only check on neighbors. So I'm not even considering that tile. So we're good. Equals 1, or if it equals dimensions x, then it's diagonal. Then we add cost. Let's add like 100 cost to it. See if that changes anything. It doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm starting to think something's wrong with the lines. Instead of like the data is all right, but the lines are showing it wrong somehow. Am I crazy? Is this not how you calculate the ending point? For each tile, we get the starting coordinate, which works. And then we calculate the ending coordinate by adding the direction to the starting point. That also makes sense to me. That does make, I mean, that's correct. I mean, what if I did new vector to 0, 1? Then they're all going to point downwards. Okay. So the problem isn't with this one. Still, why is it doing this? Do I have this wrong again? It's diagonal, it costs more. Okay. Um. What if I go here and modify it? Goal index equals 140. And run it. It doesn't change anything. I feel like I'm not understanding something with C#. Like I'm passing in a null object to flow layer. What is this? Build flow layer, return this. What? Oh wait. Okay. Flow layer. Let's print a boolean. Let's do score layer equals null. Null is false, so it's okay, it's not null. What if I print out the values of score layer? It's gonna look weird. Okay. The starting index is not 0. That means probably index 140 is 0. Does 0 exist? 0 exists. Why is 0 surrounded by 10? Oh wait, yeah, it's because I filtered it. Zero. I want to print out. I want to print out all the values in a matrix. So instead of like one tile per line, actually like shows in a grid. How do I do that again? String, print string, empty for now, and then for integer I is 0, I is small, tiles.length, I plus plus, and then print string then I can do print string equals print string plus plus that. And if I mod 14 equals 0, we print out print string, and then we set print string to null or empty string. See if this works. Where's my 0? There. This doesn't look right, like, at all. Is it because of the diagonal cost? Maybe I got it. Maybe I implemented it wrong somehow. Okay. Man, I got something wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. Okay, there's 14 in a row. What? $14 here, and then there's this guy. What am I printing out? What else am I printing out? I'm not printing out anything. What if I set it to 0? I mean, what if I set the goal index to 0? Didn't change anything? Is it because the default value is 0 or 140? I set this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 1. Something's really wrong somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, also another. I understand why it's printing out when it's. I understand why it's printing out the first one in a separate line. We can just do and I. Or just make a variable here. Int count 0. When count equals 14, set count to 0. count equals 0. Then count plus plus. Each time we add another number. Okay, better now. Oh wait, was that the only reason it was wrong? Because this right now looks correct. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 19. Okay. Okay, now this is working. I'm gonna go back and try doing 140 again. It's still at 0. What if I go and set the default value to 140 instead? Okay, that fixes it. So we have a problem here. Okay. 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Did I completely remove this? I did. Now, when we add the diagonal score, it changes. We're here. Diagonals are cheaper. I got it backwards. Okay. Looks correct. So diagonals should be more expensive, and that's what's going on now. So that works. So the problem we're having is not the print. It's not the console here. It's not the lines. It's actually the data that's somehow not what I wanted to. And also this. For some reason, I set it to 140, and it doesn't get set, or at least it doesn't get updated. But I'll figure that out after I figure this out. Let me take that and make it a function of itself, because I'm going to reuse it a lot probably. I wrote that function like 3 times. I deleted it because I thought I would never need it, and then I need it again. Print. It's called print matrix. Print integer array as matrix. It takes an integer array, let's call it array, and it takes vector 2 int dimension. Put that there. Let's call this int row size. Got that backwards. Array length. And instead of 14, we do row size. And then we can call this anywhere we want now. And we can reuse it. So the problem is probably in this code. This doesn't get set to null, so that's not the problem. So somehow maybe this doesn't. Maybe there's something wrong with the entire algorithm. I'm gonna Google it. I've been working on this and it's like not working. I'm doing something wrong. I'm reading this guy's article. Looks very interesting. It doesn't talk about like it doesn't show the exact algorithm. But it talks about some stuff.
neighboring cells. And then whichever neighboring cell has the
Too low.
lowest value, we're essentially going to point to that cell. And the only time that a cell will have a lower best cost than all of its neighboring cells is when it's the destination cell. So in this case, in the upper corner, you'll see that by a value of 4. So then the last thing we need to do is generate the actual flow field. So with the flow field, all we need to do is go through every single cell and compare it with its neighboring cells. And then whichever neighboring cell has the lowest value, we're essentially going to point to that cell. And the only time that a cell will have a lower best cost than all of its neighboring cells is when it's the destination cell. So in this case, in the upper corner, you'll see that it points diagonally.
Exactly what I'm doing. We go through each tile. We get the neighbor indices of that tile. And we're trying to find the index of the tile that has the smallest score. So we go through the neighbor indices. From the score layer, we get the neighbor's score. We check if the neighbor's score is smaller than the current smallest value. If it is, we set the smallest score to that. And we set the smallest score tile index. Oh, hold on. Tile index. Let's see if that works. I had okay, it's working. Or at least it's different. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Like, okay, I guess it's working. I don't understand where this variance is coming from. Like, it's how I programmed it, how I coded it. What I thought was it would only have either straight lines or 45-degree lines, nothing in between. But here, there's like lines that aren't either 90 degrees or 45 degrees. They're like in between. And that's interesting. Is it a problem? Probably not. Let's try so that's going to 0. Why is it going to 0? It's supposed to go to 140. Or hold on, what? That's not right. Okay. I am supposed to get. Oh my god. I'm gonna rename some things. I can call this current index. And then I'm gonna call this one just I. And I can probably use a for each because I see another problem here. To make it more easier to read, I'm gonna change it up to into a for each. For each int I in neighbor indices. That neighbor score is okay. Now I can name this neighbor index. Index. And then we can call this neighbor index with smallest score. Like that. Does that change anything? It does. Okay. Right now I don't understand why. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Instead of getting the actual neighbor index, I was getting 0. I was getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was trying to find the smallest one, and each time it was returning like 0 or something. So instead of getting the actual coordinates, I was getting 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And now it's working. So all of my problems were because of bad naming, bad variable naming. And probably coding at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when I'm sleepy. Okay. Let's see if we set this to 0, and if we go, where is it? Down here. On ready. If we set the 0 to 140 here, is it gonna work? Because it didn't before. It doesn't work. Okay, we need to fix that. So setting this calls update flow layer to unit. What if I call this after this? And okay. It works. It shouldn't do this though. It's like going in a straight line, and then instead of going straight at it, it's going in a straight line. That's weird. Thing. to fix that, we can do, instead of, we can call this 14. Call that 0. And then go to survey layer and set all of them to 10 instead of 1. Does that change it? Okay, that's a lot better. Now, what if we do it right in the, like, we set the goal index to right in the middle? So that would be 147 probably. Yeah. Okay. It looks good. And now I can better visualize it and explain what an actual flow field pathfinding is. So imagine this is the board, and you have a group of enemies here, and you have a unit of yourself here. Instead of every single enemy unit calculating a path to you, to the unit, they just read this flow field board, and they say, okay, hey, I'm on this tile. Where is this tile pointing at? And it's pointing like diagonally to the bottom right. And then the unit just goes bottom right. And then it checks again, okay, I'm on a new tile. Where's this one pointing at? Bottom right, bottom right, bottom right. And then it comes here and it checks again, and it's pointing downwards. So it starts going downwards. That's how pathfinding or flow field pathfinding works. Okay. Thank you, Turbo Mix Game, for confirming that my solution is correct. In progress. Fixed flow field directions. Fixed. Now we can maybe visualize. We can start coding like the unit movements and like actually see the units moving on the field. I don't need to set this anymore. I don't need to draw anything anymore. Actually, I'll just keep it for now. Flow field unit just holds an index. Hmm. I can make a new folder, call this a conjurant. I can go here. Conjurants, conjurant, new script, C#, and it would be probably some node 2, character body 2D or something. What do we have? What is our option? It's not a static body. It's not a rigid body. Okay, it's a character body 2D. And I'm going to call this conjurant. Okay. Where is this code coming from? I guess that's template. I didn't know templates like this existed. I thought it was just like pretty like basically empty. Um how does this work? They're supposed to go forward until they see something they can attack. And then if there's line of sight to that thing, then they can walk straight at it. If there's not, they request a flow field. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna do new vector 2. Or can I just do vector 2 dot? Whoop. Okay. Add the gravity. I don't want gravity. Oh, no jumping. Remove that. Velocity. Velocity equals velocity. Oh. Okay. We got the script. I'm gonna go here. What is this guy? The unit. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove this for now. I'm gonna add a node, character body 2D. Needs a shape. I'm gonna add it a, let's call it collision shape. Collision shape 2D. Make this a circle. Here. And I'm gonna attach my script. Okay. And I can attach a sprite 2D so I can see it. There, and that's huge. So I can make it smaller. There. It's gonna go upwards. Nothing's happening. That's probably because it's in physics. Why is it not going upwards? Times speed. What is speed? Oh, it's up. Why is it not going? if I do velocity equals direction times speed. Okay. That worked. Apparently, like in Unreal Engine, the unit is centimeters. So you're going, you calculate everything with centimeters. Like, oh, you're moving 600 centimeters per second, for example. In Godot, it's pixels, at least in 2D. Thought that was interesting. Uh, 2 p.m. Okay. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop the coding part here because I wanna have some time, some alone time to actually think about like the structure of the code. Field direction is finished. Unit movement script. Okay. Now, I also want to go into my Obsidian and work on the theme of the game. Side 12, back 12. Not the theme, but this. The mechanics. Mechanics. Okay. So I was doing it like this, where it's all word, like it's really hard to read this. Frequent single high physical damage light fighter. It's kind of hard to like think about it. It might make sense when you read it. But I need to see all of them at once in a sheet, like in a grid. And how would I do that? Can I have like sheets or lists in Obsidian or tables? How does this work? What? Is this a plugin? Not working. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's do it like this. Attribute. Um, 102, 103. Let's do 3 for now. And then attribute 1 is health. 2 is speed. Let's just try this out. So Conjured 1 is a fighter. Should we call this class instead of health? No, got all health. And then speed, light, 102. Okay, I think that makes sense. Okay, I can then do attack range, attack, attack speed, attack damage, attack damage type, attack damage radius. Maybe we can remove this damage stuff here so it'll look easier or better. Okay, C1 is a fighter. Light. Rain. Melee. Frequent. High damage. Physical. Single. Still hard to like read. I just do like plus and minus because they can all be like quantitative. Health quantitative, speed quant, range can also be quantitative. Everything but the attack type. But okay, health minus, speed plus, attack range minus, speed plus damage plus, let's say, physical is plus and minus is magical, so plus, and radius is minus. Okay. I don't want to have a lot of tanks. What's a good number of tanks out of 12 units? Maybe like 1/4 of them. So 3 of them. Okay. Let's do one of this. And then let's take a note. 3 tanks. It's a good number of range units. So three tanks. What if we do half melee and half ranged? So 6 melee, 6 ranged. And then let's write it all out. 9 fighters and 3 tanks. How about we go through them one by one? Speed. We can do, so I don't want to have a lot of high speed. Or no, sorry, no. I don't want to have a lot of super slow speed stuff. So it's either light or heavy. But light in the context of this game doesn't mean they're super fast. It just means there's a regular speed and there's a very slow speed, because I want it to play a little slower than normal. I want everything to be slow so that units stay on the map longer than normal, longer than usual compared to other games, so that you can actually like do tactics and units don't die immediately. But so how about 2/4? So that's half. How about we do 9 light and do 8 light and 4 heavy. What if we do 7 and 5? I like 7 and 5. I like that number. Attack range. There should be just enough ranged units. I don't want it all to be ranged. I'm gonna do 9 and 3. 9 and 3. because making it half and half. I want it to be more focused on, like, I want ranged units to exist, but I don't want them to have too much presence. Attack speed, frequent, infrequent. I think this is where it starts getting harder because the attack speed is dependent on the damage. I mean, by dependent, I mean it affects, like, the overall result gets multiplied because of the attack speed. Because if the unit already deals a lot of damage, giving it attack speed makes it a menace. So this is a hard one to think of. And it shows like my process of just, before I even design the game, like coming up with numbers is flawed. But I want to start somewhere, so I'm just gonna do it. Attack speed. There's regular and there's slower. Again, the same deal with speed. So I can do not 6 and 6, not 7 and 5, 8 and 4 maybe. 8 frequent and 4 infrequent. Now damage, high damage, low damage. Oh, how about we do 10, 10 and 2. Attack type. I'm removing this. How do you remove stuff? Okay. I'm removing it because, like I said in the beginning of the stream, I want there to be magic, but I want the gameplay to be more about actual, like, physical combat. So instead of like fighting with magic, you're using magic to conjure units, and the units are flesh. They're made of flesh and muscle and bones, and they go and fight. That's the idea. So I don't want magic damage anymore. It's just physical. High and low, and then the radius. This should also be pretty skewed. maybe like 10 and 2. 10 single and 2 area. Okay. How do you go to the right? Tab doesn't work. Enter doesn't work. Pivot enter? Nope. There's a shortcut? What was it? What is it on Excel? Isn't it just tab and enter? What am I missing? It's not that. C4, C5, 6. Just fill this up. C7, C8. 9. Low. 10. 11, 12. C9, C10. C11, C12. Okay. Okay, let's do 9 fighters. And then 3 tanks. Speed, we want 7 lights. I'm gonna put one of the tanks as a light. And then where light is plus. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then these are gonna be maybe 5 heavy, so there we go. Attack range. We want 9 melee and 3 ranged. I'm gonna put one of the tanks as ranged. So plus, and then 2 of the fighters as range, and the rest are melee. Frequent attackers and infrequent attackers. All the tanks, let's make all the tanks infrequent. And then the melees are frequent. Or you can add some variety. Make this plus. Let's make the fast one a frequent hitter. I think that makes, like, thematically makes sense. Like, if you run fast, you can probably attack faster too. I don't know. Attack damage, high and low. Tanks. This one is low. This guy is a slow, ranged attacker. This one should probably be low. We already got 2 lows now. Huh. And this guy can be a heavy hitter. Okay. And the rest are heavy hitters. Attack radius, 2 areas. I feel like this ranged tank should be like a sniper. I feel like it would be too OP if it's ranged. Or if it's an area damage thingy. Low damage. Okay, this guy can be an area then. So plus, the rest are minus, and then we need another area damage for our fighters. Maybe we should have like 3 areas and 9 singles. So then we can have an area damage tank, an area damage ranged. So like that. Speed, attack speed. Let's make this one ranged. This one. And then the rest can be single. Okay. I think that's enough designing for now. I have a slight headache. Yeah, now after this, so I have like a starting point here. The next step is actually designing some characters, some brainstorming some ideas for characters, what they would look like, and by what they would look like is what they would look like in game, how they would function together, and how they would just generally like contribute to the game, the feeling and the fantasy I'm trying to create and with this game. So that's the next step, but for now I'm going to stop streaming and go rest a little bit. Then I'll continue myself, and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm gonna stream again. But for now, that was it. I'm pasting my Discord server to the chat. If you like my stream, if you like the game, if you want more updates about the game, you can join the Discord server. I stream on Twitch and YouTube every weekday at 1 p.m. You can come and join me, but make sure to join the Discord server. Have a good day.